I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Hawkeye's the best MCU show. What is up, film geeks? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to my channel. Hawkeye just had its season finale, and it's safe to say it ended on a very high note, but there are now 6 episodes in the first season of Hawkeye, so we're going to rank all 6 of those episodes from my least favorite to my favorite. Join me down below in the comment section. How does your ranking compare? And if this is your first video here, definitely hit the subscribe button down below for more rankings, reviews, and reactions. All that and much more coming today and the rest of this week. Right now, we're talking Hawkeye, all 6 episodes. We're going to rank them. Before we get into the ranking, I just want to say, I don't think there's a bad episode in the show of Hawkeye. I actually loved every single episode. I just like some a little bit more than others. With that said, let's do this. So, in last place is going to be episode 1, Never Meet Your Heroes. This one is just so awesome and fun because you get to meet the character of Kate Bishop, played by Haley Steinfeld, and you get to see why she fell in love with archery, and that's because she almost was killed during the Battle of New York as a kid, and she saw Hawkeye really be that hero, and she got to see this guy with no superpowers be so fearless and be so selfless, put himself at risk to help everyone else out. She loses her father during this scene, and it honestly is an emotional moment seeing as a little girl see her father just kind of disappear right in front of her during the Battle of New York. Then it's her and her mom, and she wants to kind of go and be her own version of Hawkeye and become the world's greatest archer, which is a fun gimmick going on throughout the show. Episode 1 is just so fun. The only reason it's in last place, while I do love it so much, is because Kate and Hawkeye aren't together till literally the last couple of seconds of the episode. I love this episode. That was a great introduction to the character of Kate Bishop, and we really started to realize it's Kate Bishop's show. Loved episode 1, nothing bad to say about it. Next up at number 5 is going to be episode 2, Hide and Seek. This one is just plain fun. Clint being there with like the LARPers in the park, and he's over there fighting. They're taking it so seriously, and he literally just looks bored, like he's not even having fun, and just kicking all their ass while they're LARPing. Very fun scene, and we get lots more between Kate and Hawkeye. He's trying to go and get the Ronin suit, so there's a little more at stake with this episode. We're trying to get the Ronin suit, and they're trying to work together, and Hawkeye's about working by himself, and Kate's wood prying. We're starting to see that chemistry really unfold, and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop's chemistry is at an all-time high from this episode on. So cool and fun seeing their banter back and forth. And at the end of the episode, when Clint gets captured by the Tracksuit Mafia, he just cool about it. It's like the Tracksuit Mafia, they're not really anything I've ever fought before. These guys are really nothing to what I've done before, and Kate Bishop comes to save him at the end for a fun little gimmick and fun thing going on. The Tracksuit Mafia is a very like non-threatening group. They're just really funny. They're, bro, yes bro, yes bro. It's a fun episode. At number 4, episode 3, Echoes. I think this is probably a hot take. I know lots of people love this episode. I thought there was lots to love about it. And that slow motion car chase scene is some of the best action scene we've seen in the MCU this year. It's so awesome and slow paced, and I love the Christmas music they're playing behind it. It really never lets go of the Christmas vibe throughout the show, and it uses Christmas music to its advantage. But that slow motion car chase scene where like they're kind of just doing a one-shot take, really fun, really well done. But the character of Echo, we get to learn lots about her, that she is deaf, she has a prosthetic leg, but she is still a badass. So gets us all to really relate to her and get to find out why she's after the Ronin and why she's so bloodthirsty for him, because Ronin killed her father. And she's so vengeful and she's bitter and she's trying to go after and get him. Will not stop until she gets what she wants. Very cool introduction to the character of Echo. I don't think I got emotionally attached to her as they wanted. I know lots of other people did, but I didn't really get emotionally attached to the character of Echo like I kind of wanted to, or at least I think the show wanted me to. Still a good episode. Like I said, I don't hate any of these, but Echoes at number 4. At number 3 is going to be episode 4, Partners, Am I Right? This one took a little while to get going, but when Yelena comes in at the end, that is safe to say it's the best scene of like the entire show, because Yelena comes in and we don't really know who she is. You can kind of infer that's going to be her because you had a feeling she was going to come in this episode. At least everyone was speculating on the internet that Yelena was coming in this episode, and she comes in, it's all like black suit, look like Spider-Man from Far From Home in the Night Monkey costume. She's in this suit and she's a straight badass. We find out that someone has hired a Black Widow assassin. It is Yelena. Have this cool last 13 minutes. It's action-packed. It's riveting. And Kate gets stuck on the zip line halfway through. It's funny, and Kate Bishop is just such a likable character, and Yelena is not the fun-go-lucky Yelena from Black Widow. She's here on a mission. She's here to do an assignment. She's here to do a job. And boy, oh boy, do we think she's going to do that. Episode 4, Partners, Am I Right? It's a cool episode, but to that part where Yelena comes in, that's when it turns into an awesome, badass episode that really got a lot of fans on board with the show. At number 2 is going to be episode 5, Ronan. Yelena and Kate Bishop's apartment scene. Yes, Kate Bishop. Two young actresses who are at the top of their game, going back and forth with this funny, subtle little banter is something I want to see more of, and I want to see these two become a duo in later MCU shows or later MCU movies, or maybe be a part of the Young Avengers. Kate Bishop and Yelena, they had this banter go back and forth constantly, and that apartment scene's like 10 minutes of them talking, and it's hilarious. It just gets you kind of in your feels, like, I can't believe we're getting a new Hawkeye and a new Black Widow character in this, and Yelena is showing that she is there to kill Clint Barton. She's there for one reason and one reason only, and Kate Bishop really has no idea why, and Yelena keeps calling her Kate Bishop. It's very, very funny. And by the time you get to the end of the episode, you have like the biggest cliffhanger in the entire series, that Kate Bishop's mom, Miss Bishop, is working with the Kingpin, and that's who we always kind of hinted on throughout the show, the big guy. Hawkeye's kind of worried the big guy might come in, and episode 5 was off with the cliffhanger that Kingpin is to come in, leading us into number 1, which is episode 6, the season finale. This is Christmas. If you notice the order, it went from 1 to 6. I think each week consistently got better, and I think the finale ended off with a bang. We finally got introduced to Kingpin. Well, I see lots of people are making the argument that it's kind of lackluster, and whether I agree with it or whether I don't, I think Kingpin's presence was felt, and I thought it was awesome to be able to see that the guy pulling all the strings, the guy everyone's scared of, was finally here on the show. And he's not some super villain. He's not like a Thanos or a Loki. He's just a regular dude who's like a mob boss, and he's a badass fighter. And that's exactly what we got to see. He seemed like a more grounded villain rather than this big guy. Like, oh, I'm here to conquer the world. He's like, no. The city is mine. That's literally a line he says. I think he's a great actor. I think Kingpin was maybe a little lackluster because I think everyone hyped him up so much, but I really enjoyed his performance. I really enjoyed his presence in the show, and I hope they didn't kill him, but it looks like Kate Bishop got the best of him in this episode, and their fight back and forth, that's the only thing that maybe made Kingpin a little lackluster. That Kate Bishop is new to the hero thing, new to the fighting thing. Obviously, she's been training jiu-jitsu and taekwondo, like she says, but like when it comes to fighting a big mob boss, you think Kingpin would just mop the floor with her, and he does for the most part. She has all these trick arrows, and she really puts a number on him when she sees her mom is hurt. I mean, Kate Bishop will do anything for her mom, and I love that dynamic with Kate Bishop and Miss Bishop, even though Miss Bishop is not my favorite character inside the show. Also, the character of Jack, who we have not even talked about in this video, Kate's stepdad, or soon-to-be stepdad, he's fighting with a sword. The whole time, everyone's thinking that Jack's a bad guy. He wasn't. He was just a genuinely good dude, and Kate's just so suspicious, so we went with Kate. And Jack's fighting with the LARPers with a sword, and the LARPers come back in this episode, and Yelena and Hawkeye really steal this episode when they have that emotional back and forth and have this huge fight, and Yelena is just kicking the crap out of Clint Barton. It comes out that Clint and Nat were actually very close. Does this little whistle that Nat and Yelena did. We saw that in Black Widow. Clint does that, and that's what gets Yelena to turn her mind around, like, oh my goodness, maybe you are telling the truth, maybe you aren't who I think you are. And Kate Bishop's mom hired Yelena to kill Clint Barton. All the drama came out, but that emotional scene towards the end of the episode between Hawkeye and Yelena made me really fall in love with the episode, made me really fall in love with the show. Had a very satisfied ending. And Clint Barton and Kate Bishop and Lucky the Pizza Dog made it to the Bartons for Christmas all in time. With a whole week, they made it there on Christmas, which is the whole objective and goal of the show. Safe to say I love Hawkeye. I loved everything about it. I thought episode 6 capped it off very nicely. How does your ranking compare? Let me know down below in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. A Hawkeye characters ranking coming soon. All that and much more. I'm excited for all of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.